Hello and welcome to another episode of Hessy and Maven. I'm Justin.
I'm Raven.
And on this week's episode, please excuse the birds. It's so freaking hot in my room right now. I'm sitting next to a heat vent, and I have to have this window open. Therefore, birds.
Yeah, so just ambiance.
Just ambiance. Just be in nature with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, this week's episode, we're going to talk more about Pokemon.
Episode 3.
Episode 3 of top 5 Pokemon in specific types.
Mm-hmm.
This week, fairy and fighting.
Yep.
Not in that order. Fighting, then fairy. Fairy, then fighting. Obviously.
I have fairy, then fighting, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. Whoops. Before we started, though,
mm-hmm.
you had just mentioned before we went live that you have you drinking a Dunkin' Donuts latte.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I feel so strongly in my disdain for everything Dunkin' Donuts.
I know you do. I know you do.
I don't think their coffee is any good at all. I'm sure if I was like, I don't know, anytime I've got any like fancy drink that has sugar in it, it's too sugary and too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think their food is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think their donuts are great.
Mm. That's fine. You can feel that way.
And I do.
Yeah. I like their coffee. My favorite coffee of all time is Dunkin' Butter Pecan coffee.
Butter pecan is a great flavor in general.
Starting in, I think, April, end of April maybe, Butter Pecan is coming to Dunkin' as a year-round permanent flavor.
Oh.
Yeah, I found that out on TikTok recently.
Oh, good for you.
So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah,
it's normally only a summer flavor.
Mm.
But I love caramel. And they came out with this latte called the Caramel Craze Latte. So I got it recently, and I didn't have a chance to drink it until it was like just warm, and I didn't love it. Like, it wasn't caramelly enough. And I thought maybe it's just because you didn't drink it when it was hot. You missed your chance for this to be good.
Right.
So I got it again today, and now I'm drinking it, and it's piping hot, and I still don't like it.
Yeah. And that's what that's why I brought it up. I admire your willingness or stubbornness to retry things that you previously didn't like.
Yeah.
To be like, am I sure I don't like this?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was something about it that made me not like it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll like it this time.
Yeah.
Maybe my taste buds have changed or whatever is going through your head.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that. That's good.
I usually only do it with stuff that I want to like.
Oh, that's hard. But yeah I know what you mean.
Like broccoli. I don't want to like broccoli. So.
Oh, really? I would love to like broccoli just because it's good for you.
I've tried it. I hate it. I don't want anything to do with it ever again.
You did like my special broccoli dish, though.
I did, yeah, because the broccoli was so small and mixed into other things.
Yeah,
that it didn't become a problem. I have
this really good chicken broccoli sort of herb seasoning pasta dish. I highly recommend it to anybody. It is incredible. You just steam. What I do is I steam the broccoli until it's like fucking falling apart, and then you pretty much create a mash of broccoli.
Yeah,
it's like another ingredient.
Yeah.
Add that into shredded chicken and spiral pasta with a little bit of I almost said goat cheese. Now it's Greek yogurt, and then like a shit ton of Italian seasonings.
Yeah.
And maybe some lemon and herbs and garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that all together, and you have like this delicious broccoli chicken casserole. And it comes out with like a greenish tint because of the broccoli, but like you cannot taste the broccoli at all.
Yeah.
But it's in there.
If there were any vegetables I wish that I liked, it'd be like carrots and green beans.
Oh, that would be clutch.
I wish that I did like those. It would be clutch
for this whole family.
Because green beans are
everyone
cheap.
Everyone in the house likes them except for you.
And yeah, and they're they're a side that pairs well with a lot of different meals. And carrots are like in everything. I like raw carrots. Like if I'm eating carrots, like just plain, like out of the fridge.
On a veggie platter kind of thing.
Yeah, I will eat carrots and I will enjoy them. But very cooked carrots, I just don't like, which is annoying. It makes getting chicken noodle soup annoying.
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Because I always have to eat around them.
Yeah, I used to not like carrots, and then something happened. Cooked carrots, I was the same way as you.
Yeah.
And then something happened, and I just fucking love them.
Do you know that Tom Segura joke where he says he doesn't like when people ask like for recommendations or something?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know you. I don't know what you like. Like, what if I recommend an Asian place and you hate the Asian world? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Someone at my job the other day was picking up medicine, and as I'm like handing them the medicine, he goes, what's a good place around here to get soup? And I wanted to be like, no, don't ask me this question.
No, sir.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think when people ask you questions like that, what they're wanting is like a local business. And all I could think of was Panera.
Honestly, though.
When I thought of soup, I was like,
that's like
the only place that has soup is Panera. That's the only thing I can think of.
Now, as much as I like New Jersey and I rep it all the time, like, have you seen that trend on TikTok where it's a voice line from The Devil Wears Prada, where it's like, but I don't want to live like this. Don't be silly, Andrea.
Everyone wants this. Everybody wants this.
Yeah. I saw one that was like
East Coast, West Coast.
Yes, it was East Coast, West Coast, and the West Coast person had like bleeding mascara, was carrying like a gun and a bottle of pills.
Yeah,
he was just like, "Don't be crazy, Andre. Everybody wants this," and I was like, "That's exactly how it feels."
Yes,
at least for me. Like, I love New Jersey. I rep it so hard, but I also fully recognize that it's wild. And
it is wild.
East Coast vibes are just like shifty. That's the vibe of East Coast, is shifty, mind your own business.
Yeah. Is the point that we're shifty so we don't know where to get soup?
No, my point was the only thing I don't like about where we specifically live in New Jersey is it doesn't feel
There's not
local.
A lot of like cute local. I mean, maybe
there are some.
There's a restaurant,
but it's like if somebody were to ask me, because we don't have any community.
Yeah.
There's no community. No. There's no like neighborhood camaraderie. There's nothing that kind of is like, oh, I really want to support this local business because that's Tom and Frank from down the beautiful old gay couple, and they opened a soup shop.
Yeah.
No.
I know. There are like local small businesses. Like down the street, there's a little Italian restaurant called Piccolino. That looks cute, and I drive past it every single day on my way to work, and I always say, when you get to work, sit in the parking lot and Google this restaurant so you can see what kind of food they have, and I never remember. Yeah. But I've never been there. There's a lot of local businesses I've never been to.
It's hard, too, sometimes when you're like,
There's that...
Every mom and pop shop that I do find is Italian food.
That, too. But there's now that I'm thinking of it, there's a ramen place in Silverton called Vibe and Slurp. I could have recommended that, but they were old.
Not to that.
I don't think they're going to Vibe and Slurp.
No.
So I just recommended Panera, and he was like, all right, maybe we'll go there. And I wanted to be like, why are you now you're disappointed in my recommendation.
Yeah, don't even bother.
You just put so much pressure on me.
I hate that.
Anyway.
So really quickly, I just have 3 Pokemon trivia questions for you.
Okay.
Before we begin and get into our fairy types.
Okay.
What type of Pokemon is Wobbuffet?
Psychic?
What type of Pokemon is Wobbuffet? Correct. Psychic. Wow.
I had to think about that.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because some of these are like overly easy, and then some of them are a little more difficult. How's he gonna do that? Oh, what is the first Pokemon that Ash ever caught? Keyword caught.
Is it what the fuck? Caterpie?
It is Caterpie. Very good.
My knowledge is growing because I am watching the show from season 1, episode 1.
Yeah. And this one's a little bit more difficult. I don't necessarily expect you to know this, but it's interesting Pokemon knowledge.
Okay.
Who was the first Pokemon ever designed?
Oh.
So this is like Pokemon Company knowledge, kind of.
Okay.
It's not necessarily something you would learn in the game. Except there are nods to it. But that's not.
Can you tell me what type they are?
ground. Now they're ground. At the time, ground and rock were the same thing because so it's Gen 1.
Okay. Onyx?
No. Rhydon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
When you play, you know how nowadays when you go into your computer boxes or like even when you just open up like the start menu and you go to Pokemon and it shows you your Pokemon and there's like a little picture of them. Nowadays the graphics are so good that it's like actually just a little picture of that Pokemon. Well, in Red and Blue and maybe Gold and Silver, but I totally forget. In Red and Blue, they didn't have that kind of technology. They didn't have space. It was pixels, but it also like almost all water Pokemon had a picture of a fish.
Okay.
Every bird Pokemon or things that could fly.
Yeah.
Bug types had like their own little thing.
Okay.
And then like practically everything that was like didn't perfectly fit into like one of 5 forms. It was just a little Rhydon.
Oh, that's funny.
And it just that became like its little thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cute.
Very cute.
Very good.
All right, let's get into it. We are doing fairy and fighting.
I'm excited for fairy because fairy is one of my top 2 favorite types. Like if I was going to specialize in one type of Pokemon, it would either be fairy or ghost.
Very interesting.
So, yeah.
See,
like if I was a gym leader.
I also really enjoy fairy. When it first came out, wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah.
I think only because I want them to start creating some fairy types that are a little more bulky. Or not bulky in size, but just in terms of stats. Like, I want to fight with... I have an Alchemy in the game.
Yeah.
And it's Gigantamax form, so when I Dynamax it, it becomes a gigantic layered wedding cake.
Yeah.
Fucking adorable.
Yep, I just fought one recently.
But its stats, it's just like they're just so cute and cuddly. But so then they don't back it up with their stats sometimes, and that can be a little frustrating. So it's like unless you're going against something that's like not good against fairy.
Yeah. Sometimes
I feel like what the fuck, man.
Well, I just beat Sword again. Like I got to the credit scene.
Oh yeah.
But in the part where you're gonna fight against Leon, when you get to the stadium, they do like the brackets, so you have to fight some of the gym leaders again.
Yeah.
And right before that, I had to fight the fairy person.
Bede.
Bede.
Yeah.
Bed,
but he's annoying because he's like fairy, but then he's also like psychic. Like so many of his Pokemon are also psychic.
But his one Pokemon, the one,
excuse me,
I think, I don't know if it was Gardevoir. It might have been. Destroyed 3 of my Pokemon in one move.
Gardevoir's really good. It's not a blanket statement for all fairy Pokemon, but I think it is kind of true though if you're pure fairy.
Yeah.
Because like Gardevoir, you're right. I have a Gardevoir. Named they/them.
Yeah.
And they/them absolutely crush.
Yeah, they're so good. I could not believe how hard it was to fight him that time. Yeah. Like he just killed me so bad. I made
their speed is in like the high 200s. Yeah. Like it's one of my fastest Pokemon. So it's just so funny to me. Same thing as I have like an Alakazam too. That's like weird fast.
It was hard to fight him because of all his psychic moves and because I fight with a lot of ghost Pokemon.
Yeah.
So they destroy me so fast.
100%. That's the yeah. I like it's such a double-edged sword. I like that they're doing double typing and one day I'm sure they'll fucking do triple typing because they're going to run out of ideas or they'll just come up with more and more types. But anyway, I also like that Pokemon can learn moves that maybe don't necessarily make sense for their typing.
Yeah.
I have a Raichu who knows Surf.
Yeah.
And that's doesn't really make any sense. How can he call a bunch of water to attack somebody?
Yeah.
But I do like it. Flip side, when it's happening to me, annoyed.
Yeah, my Cinderace...
I instantly get annoyed when I'm like, oh, Raichu? My Charizard's going to kick your ass. And then they're like, Charizard's not a good example because he's flying. He would die anyway. But then the Raichu's like, Surf. And you're like, you have a water move?
My Cinderace knows Gunk Shot, which is like so random. Poison move, which is so random. And when I was fighting Leon, I used Blastoise, and his Charizard kept using Max Growth.
Oh yeah, it was a grass move. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But it is nice for my Cinderace. I don't know if you've ever seen
Blastoise's Gigantamax form.
No.
It is cool.
Is Gigantamaxing...
It's you get very big, but your form changes slightly.
I know, but...
That's the difference between... Dynamax is just getting very big. Gigantamaxing is getting very big and changing slightly.
There are some Gigantamax...
Not every Pokemon can Gigantamax.
That happens in Sword.
Mm-hmm.
Is in Scarlet and Violet, is it all Gigantamax?
No, they do the crystal thing.
That's right, the crystal thing. I forgot about that. Okay.
Terrastalize or whatever.
That's right.
Fuck. Which I wasn't a...
So you can't, decide when to Gigantamax. It's just some Pokemon do, some don't. Right? Well, no, because my Blastoise doesn't Gigantamax. Doesn't do it yet.
No, you have to unlock it for a lot of them, unless you catch them.
Oh, okay.
Like, my Alchemy, I caught it that way. It was one of the raid battles, and I caught it. And then it was already had it, so it was whatever. But my Blastoise, I had to go to the Isle of Armor, search around for a bunch of those mushrooms, give it to the one guy. He makes a soup. And he's like, he goes, do you want to give Max soup to one of your Pokemon? And you say yes. And it opens up your Pokemon boxes. And everything is grayed out except for the Pokemon that can.
Okay.
So it's like, you could look up a list, but it's like Lapras, Kingler, all the starters, all the OG starters like Venusaur, Blastoise, or whatever. Butterfree, cool. Alchemy. There's a bunch.
Yeah. I just
pretty much like any of the gym leaders' final Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far
I just looked up Blastoises. It looks cool.
Toxtricity, Blastoise. I have a Charizard that can do it. I have an Infernape, a Rillaboom, and a thing because I started doing a lot of random trading, and I found out that some companies, and I won't name them here because go fuck yourself, will hack into the game, create a shiny Pokemon, and then trade it. And it's at level 100, and everything's cool about this, except for the fact that they nickname it their company name. So it's blah, blah, blah.com is the name of, 10 of my Pokemon that are sick. They look so cool, and I do use them just for fun. But it's annoying.
Yeah,
because you can't rename a nicknamed Pokemon, which is so stupid. But okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right. Fairy type. Since this is your favorite, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Bring it on. Come on.
My number 5 is Comfey. Comfy?
The Ring of Flowers. Hell yeah.
She's so cute. She looks like a lei. Or she looks like a little blob with arms and big hair that's holding a lei.
Yeah.
And I know very little about her except that she's super small and super cute. Let's see if I can find any cute. Let's see. The Posy Picker Pokemon. Oh my god. She's holding posies.
Yeah. And she kind of holds her own, it's almost like a tail. It's
like
the way that the tail of a kite has a bunch of ribbons. It's like that, but flowers. And then she holds the tip of her tail and thus becomes a little ring around the posy.
Okay, I'm screaming because I can't wait to get to this in the show. The Nurse Joys in the Alola region are assisted by Blissey and Comfy.
Amazing.
And in Heart of Fire, Heart of Stone, I don't know what that is. If that's like a movie, I need to watch all the Heart of Fire, Heart of Stone. Oh, is the 103rd episode of Pokemon the series Sun and Moon. Brock has one. He received it from Nurse Joy from Melee Island as thanks for helping her.
Melee.
That's
awesome.
Is so cute.
It is very cute. And it's just pure fairy.
I believe so.
Because there's a lot of fairy types that kind of...
Yeah, pure
fairy. At
fairy.
least in the way that they look.
Yeah.
They kind of... They're very nature-y, which makes a lot of sense. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think fairy is one of those types that's a little amoebus.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I don't really know what defines a fairy type. It feels like so many of them are pink.
Yeah.
Is that
cute.
The vibe? That it's just pink and cute?
Pink and cute is the vibe, for sure. Yeah, so that's my number 5.
I do like it.
She's so good.
That's a very good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let me preface this with Jojo is snoring.
Okay.
But let me also preface that with not the one I'm about to say, but I think we're gonna have 1 to 2 overlaps.
Oh, okay.
So get ready for that.
Okay.
But my number 5 is Mr. Mime.
Oh.
Not always a fairy type. He became a fairy type when double typing was introduced.
Okay.
Used to be pure psychic.
Mm-hmm.
In Red and Blue, you can only get him through a trade, and it's a random trade where there's a part so early in the game where you pass by an area that you can't get to unless you have cut, where you can cut down trees. And then by the time you get cut, you totally forget that area even exists. Because you're like, dude, that's by Pallet Town. Like, that's so far away.
Right.
And then if you eventually go back, you get a Mr. Mime named something fucking stupid, of course, because they had to do that. And anyway, I've always thought Mr. Mime was really cool. I like the idea of incorporating the most stereotypical parts of mimes, which is the invisible box and the wall.
Yes.
And using that to create these barriers and stuff. And also, I mean, its appearance in Detective Pikachu, hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
So funny.
And seeing it battle, like, when I first started the Journeys series of Pokemon, the newer ones, and Ash is like, yeah, I want to start battling. Hey, I'll borrow my mom's Mr. Mime. And his friend Go is like, what? Like, does he even know how to battle? And the camera cuts over to Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime is just going, Mr. Mime. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Are you a villain?
Yeah.
And then he, like, kicks ass.
Yeah.
Like, he does so well. He, I forget which Pokemon he's fighting, but he makes so many of those invisible walls that he actually traps a Pokemon in, and the Pokemon can't move.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Mr. Mime is cute.
Mr. Mime also is one of the very few Pokemon that I think walk the line of looking too much humanoid.
Yeah.
Because I don't love it.
Yeah.
But Mr. Mime seems to get by with me. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. It's cute when it's like when Ash's mom has one and it just like helps around the house with chores.
Mime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love how I love that really he just showed up one day. He's very helpful.
Yeah.
He's got kind of, creepy clown hair. His color scheme is fun. That like kind of has the light pink already, but then this like very interesting grayish dark blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of Mr. Mime. I hate the Galarian one, the ice one.
Mr. Rhyme.
It becomes Mr. Rhyme, but
you hate the version that becomes Mr. Rhyme.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like where it just has like crazy eyes. Its hair is more pointy, and then it doesn't have any pink. It's all blue because now it's ice. And psychic instead of psychic and fairy. Yeah, I just hated that. Mr. Rhyme is okay.
Yeah, I have a Mr. Rhyme right now.
But yeah, it's just crazy to me. It feels like ice is such a random type, and it feels like the whole Pokemon game just like leans really heavily into it. I have so many ice Pokemon, and I'm like,
there's more than one section that's snowy.
I know, and like, then they're in their brains they're like all ice.
Yeah.
All ice Pokemon here.
And I don't
only ice, and I
don't want any of them.
I know, that's the thing. There are some that are
the problem.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to ice Pokemon, I suppose. Okay, yeah, my number 5, Mr. Mime.
Very good.
Thank you.
That's a good one. My number 4 is Diancie.
Can you spell it for me?
Diancie. The Jewel Pokemon.
Oh, yes.
She's so cute. She's like this little fairy thing attached to a rock, and she's got like a crystal head piece and like crystal pigtails.
Wow.
She's rock and fairy. Excuse me. She's very cute.
She is very cute.
Yeah, she's so cute. This says Diancie is born from a carbink that undergoes a mutation.
Which is so interesting because
Carbink is also very cute.
Carbink is so cute, but why I've always been mad that my Carbink can't evolve.
I know.
How do I get Diancie,
I don't know. Diancie is found living in caves filled with diamonds. It has occasionally been seen traveling or living near other carbink. And then this is another thing this is a Pokemon I'm very excited to see in the anime. Diancie can speak through telepathy.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And
can you imagine if its telepathy in your head was just like
Diancie?
Yeah. It doesn't actually like speak any
Yeah.
English or anything. That's so funny.
It's the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Diamond Storm. Which is interesting. I am very excited to get to whatever episodes she is in. Apparently she has her own short and her own movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The short is called Diancie, Princess of the Diamond Domain. And the movie is called Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction.
Oh.
Yeah, that took a turn. Yeah. In both the short and the movie, it is embarking on a quest to find Xerneas. Who is like a pretty Pokemon that is a very skinny deer with like twinkle light antlers. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. A major character in the Pokemon series XY movie and Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction. I hope that me finding all the Pokemon movies will not be difficult because I need to watch them all. Oh, hang on. In this Bulbapedia article, it says all the appearances that happen in the anime.
I feel like you're about to bring up the one that I just clicked on.
There's a category that says other appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Diancie and its mega evolved form both appear as spirits in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild to me. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I never really understood the whole spirits thing and the fucking...
Oh, so they're just like stuff that pops up while you're fighting.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. Random.
Yeah, you get a bunch when you do like the story mode kind of thing.
Yeah.
But...
Random. But, yeah.
Very cool.
I know. I love her. She's so cute. That's my number 4.
Diancie. Okay. My number 4 is the one, the only. Just such a fun Pokemon. Used to only be normal type. Then they came out with fairy type. Used to be a pain in the ass to catch in the game because it would sing to you and you'd fall asleep.
I know it.
We're talking Jigglypuff.
Yep. I know it. Jigglypuff is so funny in the show because there's this one Jigglypuff that just follows them around forever and just like pops up like every 10 to 15 episodes. And it's always when they're like walking through town and there's like an event happening and then they just walk past like a stage that's being set up and you see an empty stage and then it cuts to like a little alley and you see Jigglypuff like
peek around
a corner and have the little microphone and Jigglypuff's like,
and it's not a microphone, it's a marker
that she sings into. Yeah.
Jigglypuff.
Yeah, but she can't sing. She doesn't sing without it. Like, there's a couple episodes where they take it from her, and then she doesn't.
She thinks it's a microphone. No, I know. I'm just saying that it's technically not a microphone. Yeah. It's a marker. Because she'll sing. She wants everyone to hear her.
Yeah.
And her curse is that her singing puts people to sleep. So then she assumes that they're falling asleep during my act. How dare they? How rude.
Yep.
How will I get my revenge?
Yes.
Oh, my microphone doubles as a marker. I will draw on their sleeping faces.
Yes.
And then everyone wakes up. They all have marking on their face. It's hilarious. And that joke repeats itself many times.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
But yeah, Jigglypuff, the balloon Pokemon, a lot of fun. It's in the Super Smash game since the very beginning. It was in the very first Super Smash game. So interesting to me that that's a Pokemon that they chose.
Yeah.
For specifically a fighting game. I think a lot of it has to do with in the game itself. You know how, like, old school, like, these video games, nowadays it's whatever, but, like, back in the day, and I'm including N64 when I say back in the day, the games only had so much memory.
Yeah.
Right? So when you had to add a new character, that takes up a lot more memory. So when you have two characters that have some stuff that overlap, I think it makes it a little bit easier for the game developers to fit that extra information in.
Yeah.
And Jigglypuff and Kirby have a lot in common.
Yeah,
in terms of how they jump, how they fly, and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think Jigglypuff is super adorable and cute, and it's very simple.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yet, brilliant Pokemon design.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking sphere with a little swoop of cute little hair. Mm-hmm. Little cat ears, gigantic eyes with a tiny little mouth. Nubbins for hands and feet.
Yep.
No, like, there's no arms or legs. It's just hands and feet.
Yeah. I love that she's called the balloon Pokemon.
Yes, balloon Pokemon.
That's so cute.
They introduced from the beginning, it could always evolve into Wigglytuff using a moonstone, which gives it kind of this Clefairy-esque what's it called? Mystery, like mysteriousness of where is it from? Is it from the moon? Is it an alien? It's very fun. And then they introduced a prequel evolution or pre-evolution or whatever, Igglybuff, who's
also very cute,
incredibly cute, of course. But I personally am not a big prequel evolution person. I just sometimes that kind of falls flat for me.
I understand.
I just do the love concept Igglybuff, itself. Though. No. Yeah, Igglybuff is great.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about the concept.
Fair.
Like, I love Pichu is so fucking cute.
Yeah, Pichu is very cute.
It drives me nuts that there's another evolution form. It's crazy. It just like the concept, the principle of it, not the actual Pokemon themselves.
It's also weird that they would introduce. Well, I mean, I guess Pikachu wasn't part of the original, like, starters. So I was gonna say it's weird that they would give Ash a middle evolution starter.
Oh yeah.
But Pikachu wasn't part of them, really, I guess.
Technically, no.
So then it's fine.
Yeah. And it's hard because, like, at the time, they probably didn't even know that Pichu existed. Because that's, like, the concept. It's not like during the Red and Blue or the first season of Pokemon, it's not like Professor Oak just knew that Pichu existed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's Pikachu. It's the evolved form of Pichu. Like, he didn't even know that Pichu was a thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it. Jigglypuff.
I love it.
Thank you.
That's a great choice. My number 3, Wigglytuff. She's so cute. She's a taller version of Jigglypuff with longer ears. She was never one of my favorites playing the games that I've played so far. But then I saw her in the anime. She appears in an episode where they're in town. They're in a town. I forget where. Yeah. And they're filming there's like a famous film studio filming a Pokemon movie.
There's a bunch of episodes like that.
Yeah, all the characters are, the main characters are Pokemon. And the director's problem is that Wigglytuff is his main character and she's a diva. And he needs to find, every time like he finds someone to star with her, they like do it wrong and she gets mad and she like slaps them like this across the face. And then they like run away.
Oh my God.
So everyone, like, they all are like so excited to have their Pokemon star in this movie. So like Ash, Misty, Brock, they all have their Pokemon audition. Jesse and James have their Pokemon audition. But Wigglytuff is like, I'll kill all of them. Like, none of them are good enough to star in this movie with me. And it's so cute. And then it eventually ends up being, I forget who. Oh, Psyduck. Psyduck ends up being the one.
Of course, Psyduck.
Who, like, because, like, I think Wigglytuff ends up trying to be, ends up being captured. And Psyduck saves her. So they, like, get together. And it's, oh my God, it's so cute. And it just made me love Wigglytuff so much.
Wigglytuff is great. I remember the first time seeing a Wigglytuff. For me, I think, is in the Mewtwo movie. One of the other champions has one.
Oh, okay. I just looked up a list of all the Pokemon movies so that I could watch them all. There are, I think right now, 25.
Yeah, it is insane how many they have. And a lot of them are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Which is like slight bummer. Because I think they just kind of ran out of this idea of like, they kept trying to one-up themselves. So like, they do like, in Ruby and Sapphire, right? You have Kyogre and whatever the fuck the red one is. And it's like, oh, one is land and one is sea.
Are they like legendaries?
Yeah, and they created the Earth. And then after that, they're like, okay, but who created the planet? Like, if they created what Earth became, like, who created it to begin with? Okay, now this person. And then they're like, okay, now we'll do one that's time. And then space and dark matter. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, are Pokemon's gods now? Like, this is a little crazy for me.
Yeah.
I'm into it because I want to see Ash and his friends do stuff. But a little much for me.
Yeah.
Especially when Ash is like, oh, yeah, I'm actually really good friends with the guy who invented reality.
Oh, my God.
Because Ash just becomes friends with everybody. But anyway.
There's a lot of these, when I was looking up, like, how to watch them, a lot of these movies take place within the seasons of the show. So, like, in between, like, episodes, I don't know, 11 and 12, like, there'll be the movie. And then the plot continues, like, in the show.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to finish the show altogether and then watch the movies altogether.
I think you'll be fine that way, yeah.
Because that, I think, is, like, too much work. But it is crazy to see the random Pokemon that are the main characters of these movies.
For sure.
But anyway, I'm excited to watch those. Okay.
All right. Now, I have a pretty strong suspicion that this is on your list.
I'm going to say Happy Tuesday to our dad.
Okay. My number 2 is...
Wait, your number 2?
Oh, sorry. I skipped one. Never mind. This one probably won't be on your list.
Okay.
My number 3. My bad. My number 3 is Primarina. I love her so much. She is known as the soloist Pokemon. She is water and fairy.
Oh,
yes. She is a beautiful seal-like mermaid. Yeah, when I got the first one, if you do me a favor and click on Poplio, the starter of this.
Okay, please hold.
Sea line Pokemon.
Yep.
I named it Bongo. And then evolved it without ever really knowing. Because I never played the Pokemon that this is from.
Okay.
Like, whatever version this is from.
Yeah.
I've never played this before.
Okay.
So, naturally, it's from Sun and Moon.
Ah.
Yeah, I never played Sun and Moon.
Okay.
So, when it finally evolved, I was like, "Oh, this is not a bongo. No way.
The
this
name
is a beautiful angel."
carry.
And I named her Lana Del Rey.
Ah, okay.
I just love her so much. She has a lot of moves that are voice based.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. She does a lot of singing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she can sometimes stand on her tail, and her hair will become undone. Mm-hmm. And she has a really specific water move called Sparkling Aria.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking at the Bulbapedia article, and it says Primarina's hair undone while using Sparkling Aria.
Yeah, we're looking at the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why I use the word undone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beautiful. It's an awesome, really fun design, very feminine, perfect for water and fairy, and I love her.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
Mine, Lana Del Rey, she has a move that I take a lot of joy from in a very evil way called Encore. Where you force a Pokemon to redo whatever move it just used. It has to use that move again 3 times.
Okay.
And if you can trap it, sometimes you can trap it because it'll do something like, I don't know, it'll use the move Protect.
Okay.
And then you can force it to use Protect over and over and over again. And Protect is one of those moves that you can't use over and over and over again. Otherwise, it'll just fail. So then you just fuck with them. And I love stuff like that. I always think that's so fun. Or if somebody uses a move, like if they use a dragon move and it's like, oh, bitch, I'm fairy type. That doesn't affect me.
Right.
Boom. Encore.
Yeah.
Keep using that dragon move. Like, I love shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few. I'm such a loser when it comes to like, I'm not very highbrow when it comes to some Pokemon stuff. Like, most of my Pokemon only attack.
Yeah.
Like, I barely use other things like status stuff or whatever. I'm trying to get into it where I'm like, let me just give the Pokemon one thing that's not a blatant attack.
Yeah.
And Primarina is a great example of that.
Yeah.
I have her on my team, and I really, really, really fucking like her.
The only thing I normally keep like that is something that'll put them to sleep. Like, I like putting Pokemon to sleep, and then either I have, like, a Dream Ball where it's easier to catch them when they're sleeping.
Yes.
Or, like a move like Dream Eater.
Yeah.
Like
See,
that.
That's an interesting combo. Dream Eater's a great move. Does a lot of damage. It's Ghost, right?
Yeah.
Or is it Psychic?
I think it's Ghost.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And it heals you.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to be sleeping in order for you to use it. So then you have to have a sleep thing with that every time.
Yeah.
And I don't like that things have to be coupled like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, if I have Dream Eater, I have to have Hypnosis or Sleep Powder or whatever. I don't...
That's fair.
But I do like it. I mean, it is fun. I mean, in Red and Blue, it was like only like 2 Pokemon could even fucking do that.
Yeah.
So it was like sick. Hypno is a big one. Go to sleep.
Hypno.
And then boom. But
Hypno.
Yeah. Primarina. Nice. I like the name too. She's like a prima donna.
Yeah.
She's like an opera singer. She has like very that one character from fucking Phantom of the Opera. I love it.
Yes. Very good. It's a very good Pokemon. That Pokemon reminds me of the fancy poodle from Oliver and Company.
Yes.
They give off similar energies.
Yes, they do.
Okay. My number 2 and my number 1 are the only 2 on this list that I think we would have overlap. My number 2 is Clefable.
I don't have Clefable.
It
was hard for me. I like kind of when I made my decisions, I was like, I kind of put Jigglypuff and Clefairy like and their families in like a kind of similar vein, and I was like, let me just pick one from this group.
Fair.
And that'll sort of hit that spot for me.
I love Clefable. I love all of its pre-evolutions. I love Cleffa and Clefairy. I love that they're like star Pokemon, and there's so many references to them in the show about people think that they're aliens because they come from space. And there's like multiple episodes where Clefairies come down in spaceships. They see like a spaceship, and the spaceship will land, and a bunch of Clefairy come out. And it's like, what? Like, they're from another planet.
I know, right?
And they're so cute. Cleffa is so cute and small. And I had one in one game that I played where I raised it into all the way to a Clefable. And her name was Jessica. She was my highest level Pokemon.
Oh, I do remember this, Jessica.
Yeah. And
Jessica's a great name. It's fun.
Yeah. And she just is so cute. I love in the photo cute. Of her. She's like this.
No, I love that. She's so kawaii.
She's so kawaii. Yeah, I just think she's so cute.
Pokedex entry from Ash's Pokedex says these unique creatures are among the rarest Pokemon in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, they're dope. I mean, it's super fucking cool. Red and Blue is interesting because, like, in the game, you can only find so many moonstones. It's not like in the current games, like in Sword and Shield and Violet and Scarlet, like items regenerate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you'll find Pokeballs and random shit that you have found before.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that was not the case. I mean, there's like the moonstone that's behind the tree on this route.
Yeah.
And that's one of 5 moonstones or whatever, right? So it was like you had to be really selective about evolving certain types of Pokemon, especially ones that had multiple types like that.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what. Who else does moonstones? It's those two, Jigglypuff and Clefairy.
Yeah.
I've
been wondering
there's
this
a couple.
because I recently acquired a moon ball.
What is that?
It's one of the guys as dressed as Pokeballs in the game gave it to me, and it's to be used on a Pokemon that evolves using a moonstone.
Oh.
And I keep meaning to look up whatever Pokemon that is.
Excuse me. Nidorina and Nidorino evolve into Nidoqueen and Nidoking, respectively, using that. Munna.
Oh, I'll never evolve that.
Absolutely.
I have one and I'll never evolve it.
It looks like a fetus.
Yeah. Only the first evolution is good.
Yeah. Skitty.
Into a Delcatty?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care about that.
That might be it.
Yeah. So I'll probably
there's really not that many.
I'll probably only use it if I get a Jigglypuff or a Clefairy.
Yeah. That's really interesting that it's so few Pokemon.
Yeah.
And Skitty makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, that's random.
But whatever.
This little blurb about it says, according to one tradition, seeing a pair of Clefable ensures a happy marriage.
Oh.
Some scientists believe that Clefable stares intently at the moon because it is homesick. There is a legend to this as well, which tells of how it listens for the voices of its kin on the moon during clear and quiet nights.
Wow.
That's cute. They're like from the moon. So I just love her. So she's my number 2.
I do love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm nervous that for your next one, you're going to steal my number 1 and I'm going to be upset.
Should I skip to my number 1? It's far more likely that my number 2 is your number 1.
Okay.
How do you want to do this?
No, we have to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Sylveon. Nailed it, right? Yeah. I knew it. I thought you might have Jigglypuff too, which is the other one that I was thinking you might have.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. Sylveon. Sorry, gang. Sorry, Ray.
Uh-huh.
I love this fucking Eevee evolution so much. I think that the first time I saw it, I was like, sometimes when they design Pokemon that make it look like they're wearing clothes, but I know that they're not wearing clothes, I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, are these skin bows? Are these just bows made of fur? And it throws me off. But after I sit with it for a while, I began to fall in love with Sylveon. It helps also that Sylveon is in the game, I have every single Eevee evolution. And Sylveon is by far my strongest one and my favorite one. Mm-hmm. And absolutely kicks ass. I love it so much. You have to teach Eevee a fairy type move and have it be your friend and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Which is, it can be a little bit of an annoying mechanic, the whole idea of high friendship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I also really love it because we all know how good it feels when your Pokemon holds on with 1 hit point left and it goes, they didn't want to let you down. And you're like,
yeah, I know.
Like this fucking not real, imaginary, fake animal is holding on in a video game. I will die for this animal.
Yeah,
this
I know.
Fake animal. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm touched.
Yep.
But yeah, I absolutely love Sylveon in the game. So freaking cute. And like I said, as far as straight up fairy types go, pretty powerful.
Yes.
Little part here. When a fight breaks out between Sylveon and Dragon type Pokemon, Sylveon will bravely charge at them, even if they are much bigger than itself.
Aww.
Its ribbon-like feelers emit a soothing aura that erase any sense of hostility, enabling it to stop fights instantly. When hunting, it swirls its feelers as a distraction while the aura weakens feelings of hostility in its prey. Then it pounces on the victim. Holy shit.
She's badass!
In my brain, because like in the first show, you know what I mean? Like the first season of Pokemon, maybe in the other ones too. Every time a Pokemon eats, it's eating little tiny, look like dog food. Mm-hmm. Like it's like little kibble.
Yeah.
So anytime I read like a Bulbapedia thing where they're like, when they hunt, you're like, what?
Yeah.
They are hunting things? Like, what are they eating?
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. Oh my God. And it will wrap its feelers around its trainer's arm as they walk together.
Josie.
Which allows it to read their feelings.
I know.
Oh my God. It's like holding your fucking hand.
She's so cute. Josie, just go.
She can't. There's like no. Also, can you plug in my laptop? Sorry, it's plugged. She's also not gonna be able to get down the stairs because the gate.
I'll reopen the door when she comes back.
Triple whammy.
I know she's my number one. She's my favorite Eevee evolution of all the evolutions. Yeah. The intertwining Pokemon. She's so precious.
Very good.
I just saw that she debuted in a Pokemon short called Eevee and Friends, which prompted me to look up the list of Pokemon shorts because I'm gonna have to watch all of those too. Okay, and she's back.
Fast.
She's just so pretty, and I love that she's super strong. And I just love, like, wraps its ribbon-like feelers around the arm of its beloved trainer and walks with them. Like,
I know.
It's cute. So cute.
They also, I just looked up the shiny form, and the shiny form is almost just the inverse. So everything that's pink is light blue, and everything that's light blue is pink. And when I did that, there was a related image of both the shiny and the normal form of Sylveon dancing together, and the background is the trans flag. Aww. Because it's like the perfect colors. Oh, so cute. So cute. Stinking cute.
Yeah, shiny Sylveon is also cute.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, she's my number one favorite fairy Pokemon. I want one in the game. Right now, all I'm playing with is an Umbreon. Umbreon is the only one I have right now. Oh, I also have a Leafeon, but she's like level 8. Oh, yeah. So she just stays in a box.
Yeah, I mean, you could always do like once a day, go to that one part of the wild area where an Eevee evolution always appears.
That's what I do,
depending on the weather.
Yeah. That's where I got my Umbreon.
Yeah.
And I love her, but
for sure.
I want a Sylveon. But I've never seen a Sylveon there. The only Sylveon that I had from the game, I evolved her into a Sylveon. I've
seen a Sylveon there, but it is rare.
Yeah. But I do love her so much.
She's adorable.
Yeah. Yep, that's my number one. All right.
My number one fairy type in all of Pokemon. I think that it is literally perfect Pokemon design.
Okay.
It's up there with maybe the best designed Pokemon ever.
Okay.
In terms of how it looks, how it acts, some of its abilities based off of how it looks and what it is and all this stuff. It is Daxbun.
Oh. This is a newer one.
Yes, this is from the most recent generation. It starts as a little Pokemon named Fido, which
is also very good.
We know that in at least Western vernacular, Fido is like a very stereotypical name for a dog. Back in the day, mainly, but it's calling a dog Buddy or Rex or something like that. Fido, but they spell the dough portion like dough, like bread dough. Yeah. And it is very pale and all this stuff. And then Dachsbun, which is a dachshund dog, but then with the word bun. And
its ears are buns.
Its ears are little buns. It has a braid in its back. Like challah bread or whatever. And it's much darker brown, aka it's been baked. Then it has these like special abilities called Well Baked, where anytime you use a fire move against it, it doesn't do any damage.
It's cute.
You obviously no dragon move is gonna do anything against it because it's fairy type. It's straight up fairy. I fucking love it. I had one in my playthrough of Scarlet and Violet, and I had it almost from the second that I found a Fido. I caught it, loved it. It evolved into a Dachsbun at level 26, which is fairly low, and that was it for me.
Cute.
I was obsessed with this Pokemon.
Yeah, it is really cute.
And in that game, because of the way that leveling is a little bit easier, and also just the way that those like max raid crystal battle things fucking go, it's at level 100.
Yeah. It was so fun to play through that game and just see all the new Pokemon. Like
it really was. It was so fun. No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just the only downside to that game is just like
that you can't double battle.
I'm done, and now I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I mean, I can go through and like really try and do the fucking Pokedex.
Yeah.
That's gonna require so much trading.
Yeah.
Which means you're gonna have to also be in it, or I'm gonna have to borrow your Switch or figure it out like that. But yeah, that stuff like that kind of annoys me.
Yeah.
Because I never even got the Pokemon in that game where you have to like do the
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I never even really explored that.
Yeah.
If I saw one, I would grab it. But other than that, I was like, whatever. And I know you could Google it.
That took a lot of energy because I had to Google the location of each of them and then find it in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I love Dachsbun so much. Its body emanates a pleasant, appetizing aroma which helps wheat to grow.
That's cute.
Thus, Dachsbun is historically treasured by farming villages.
That is cute.
Wow, I love it so much. Yeah, it's just so cool. I think, like I said, I genuinely think that this is perfect Pokemon design.
Yeah, it's cute. It's clever.
The names are fun. They make sense. It makes sense that it's fairy type. The well-baked thing makes sense. I like that the color change. I actually didn't even notice that at first until someone brought it up. The idea that the first one is like fresh dough.
Yeah.
That's like unbaked.
That's why it's so light.
Like I didn't really notice that until someone brought it up and I was like, oh fuck, that's awesome.
Do you see the English translation of the Japanese in Dachsbun?
Bautzel. Like a pretzel.
Cute, like a pretzel.
Yeah. And every time I say Dachsbun, I feel like I have to say it with like
instead of Dachsbun.
Yeah, I get Dachsbun.
Yeah.
I love it so much. But anyway.
Yeah, very cute.
That's what I'm.
Fairy Pokemon are so cute. Like they're so cute. They're fun.
They are.
They're like fairy Pokemon. I feel like are the type where I personally can see them being like my little buddy. Like they're cute to carry around.
Yeah.
Like they could see like they could be like your best friend.
Yep.
Where like some Pokemon are cool. They'd be cool to have.
Speaking
of which, when you throw them out,
get into the fairy type or fighting type rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's definitely gonna be a touch more difficult.
I wonder if we'll have crossovers.
I imagine so.
What time are we at?
Is imagine this so.
We're
at an hour.
Episode? Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Do you want to start us off?
Sure. I just want to see something really quick with my number 5. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. So that was fairy. Moving on to fighting.
Yes.
Okay. My number 5 is Lilligant.
Oh.
But it's the Hisuian Lilligant.
Okay.
Because the regular Lilligant has big poof legs.
Lilligant.
Like her legs are like a bulb. The Hisuian Lilligant has like long, lean legs.
I understand. I'm seeing this.
Yeah. And she's grass and the Hisuian one is grass and fighting, whereas the puffy one is just grass. And in Pokemon Arceus, the game, excuse me, I have to fight. You go to like each section and you have to fight these. I forget what they're called. They're like, I don't know, big guardian Pokemon. Like they control that section. Like it's like one Pokemon. And she is the one for one of the sections. That version of a Lilligant. And she's really badass and she's hard to fight. And that's where I first saw her, and I love her. I think she's so cool.
That's awesome.
The flowering Pokemon.
Yeah, I didn't know that Lilligant had another form.
Or the spinning Pokemon. Yeah, she's cute in her grass form. But I like her in grass and fighting.
Yeah, I also like how she has like a bob haircut as opposed to like the longer hair.
Yes.
Made of leaves.
Yes.
And the flower is a little bit smaller.
Yeah. It's like she slimmed down and took a kickboxing class.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Which I love. I love so much.
I do Tybo now?
Yes.
Watch out.
Yeah. So she's my number 5. I love her.
All right. Lilligant Hisuian form.
Yeah. Can't wait to figure out how that's pronounced.
My number 5... I'm sorry, I was double checking. Is Infernape.
Yes.
Infernape, fire and fighting. It is one of the starters. Begins as Chimchar.
Yep.
This is a great Pokemon. It was
my starter.
I love this.
Yeah.
In terms of starter Pokemon and stuff like that, I think that it's fun. I think all of the evolution, as
doesn't
usual,
Ash get one
the
at some point?
Evolutions are always disappointing, but they're merely a stepping stone. Yes, Ash does get one, and it's a fucking badass, and it's the reason that Infernape entered my zeitgeist.
Yeah,
because I saw like videos on TikTok that had like badass background music, where it was fighting and stuff, or like there's the one time like it gets mad and it just is like, and like fire shows up and it just becomes like a black shadow in the middle of an inferno, and I was like, okay, I'm obsessed.
Awesome. Yeah,
like this is the coolest fucking Pokemon ever.
Yeah.
And then even in the recent episodes, like Ash has a Lucario, and Lucario is a fighting type, and is like training and practicing and all this stuff. And Ash goes to find Infernape because he eventually let Infernape go because Infernape wanted to protect the wildlife and other Pokemon of the area it's from. Yeah. And that's what it's doing.
A lot
it's like
with
a
Ash's
fucking
Pokemon.
nature guardian. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah.
In the original Pokemon games, I remember like when you click on a Pokemon and it's like summary, did it a release, and I was like, who would ever release a Pokemon? I've done it many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that he's so fucking cool. Mm-hmm. He's so cool. The design is awesome. The animation, especially because it's newer Pokemon, is always really good. It's like anime. It's like watching Dragon Ball Z fighting. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So Infernape.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Thank you.
I love Infernape. I was so pumped when mine evolved into an Infernape, and I had this like badass fucking Pokemon. My number 4 is Blaziken. I recently saw it in the anime, and it was owned by somebody named Harrison. And it was so cool and badass. It's like this bipedal. It evolves from like chicken Pokemon, but it doesn't look like a chicken anymore. It's got like these big pants.
It does have like gaucho pants.
And long blonde hair, and it's just like so strong and cool. And I really hope that I get to see, right now the girl who's traveling with Ash is called May, and I really hope that I get to see May has a Torchic. I really hope that I get to see her Torchic evolve all the way to a Blaziken, because it'd be really cool for her to have one.
Yeah.
Because right now her Torchic is like a baby, like it just like cries a lot and is like really small and not that strong. So I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
but
Blaziken is very cool. I have one in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I would like to have it as a Pokemon partner.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have all of the starters from this generation. Swampert is the water.
Oh, I just watched an episode with Swampert and it was scary.
Yeah, I slept on him for a while, but I do like him.
Yeah.
And then I just got a Sceptile or whatever. But it's interesting because it's like I really, really want a Meganium so bad. And I'm just curious why they were like, oh, here in this Generation 9 game or whatever, let's just give him Generation 3, but not Generation 2. And it's like, why? I don't really care about any of the other ones. No offense to Cyndaquil, and Cyndaquil's so cute, but in terms of Typhlosion, I don't really care. For Alligator, I don't really care.
Yeah, me either.
But Meganium, I fuck with.
Yeah.
Chikorita is fucking cute. Bayleaf, I think.
Yeah, Bayleaf.
Is like decent.
Yeah.
And then Meganium is dope.
Yeah.
So, but.
It's a cool name, too.
It is cool, and I like the design.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about grass Pokemon. All right, cool. Blaziken. Very sick. Did I write that down? I did. Okay, good. So, now my number 4. Surfetched.
Oh my god. I keep looking for one in Sword. I haven't found one yet.
Surfetched. So, in Sword and Shield, they introduced a different, like a regional form of Farfetch'd. And that form of Farfetch'd, the Galarian form, it will, instead of just like carrying a small leak, it carries a massive leak, like a tree trunk. And it also has like slightly darker feathers, and it has a more pronounced like eyebrows that are always like, it always looks like upset or mean or something. And its voice is very deep, and I just fucking was obsessed with it. As soon as Ash got one.
So funny.
Because Ash is like obsessed with being the best.
Yeah.
And his Farfetch'd is also obsessed with being the best. Like needs to destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And eventually, during the middle of a battle, it evolves.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
because its leak gets cut in half, like broken, and it's like, oh no, and then it like picks up one part of the leak and uses it as a shield, and picks up the other part, and then it evolves into Surfetch'd.
Yeah.
Which is still referred to as the wild duck Pokemon, but it is like a knight.
Wild duck Pokemon.
Its voice is very deep and also like weirdly tinge of British.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah.
And I just fucking love him. He's so cool, and I'm just so heartbroken that I cannot fucking find it in my game because it's only in Raven's game, I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to find it. I might have to Google it.
And I think only she can have it, which is so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I might just have to Google
it. It evolves after enduring an unusually tough battle.
Oh.
So says the Pokedex. But yeah, I just love it.
That would make me mad if I was trying to evolve.
It's so fun. I love it so much. It evolves after landing 3 critical hits in a single battle.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty hard, actually. I mean, you can give it things in the game to make its critical hits more likely.
Yeah.
And then you could teach it things like, what's that one? The focus one? It's like, focus up, or whatever. It's just like, you're like, get pumped.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And those things like increase the ratio of critical hits. But anyway, yep, that's my number 4.
Oh, according to this, Surfetched cannot be found anywhere in the wild. They can be battled and caught in max raid battles at these 3 locations.
No, yeah, you would have to catch a Farfetch'd.
Oh, the easier method to obtain one is to evolve a Galarian Farfetch'd.
Right.
Which can be found.
Need you to get.
Blah, blah, blah.
That's what I need you to get.
Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. Okay. Very good.
Very good.
My number 3 is Hitmontop.
Oh, very cool.
Hitmontop is my favorite of the Hitmons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like always upside down, and it spins like a top.
Yeah.
And it's so cute, and I only loved it once I saw it in the anime, in the episode where they go to like a dojo or like a it looks like a temple, but it's like where fighting Pokemon go to train with their trainers, and the guy who runs it, his daughter has a Hitmontop, and she like is training to like take his place.
Yeah.
And she gets challenged by someone who has a Hitmonlee. And she gets beat at first, but then she like trains with Ash, and then she comes back and her Hitmontop like kicks ass, and it's so cute, and it's like her size, like because she's like a kid. And it's so cute at the end when it like hugs her. Like this is another Pokemon where it's like very humanoid. Like it walks on 2 feet and like can hug her like a human. But I love its little voice when it yells like Hitmontop, and it's like it's just so cute. If I had to pick between all the 3 Hitmons, this is the one I would want.
Yeah, Hitmontop is dope. I really do like Hitmontop a lot. Hitmontop, I remember when they first introduced it, and I was like, okay, that's fucking cool. And it was different enough because you had like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, and they're super cool and I love them. Mm-hmm. But one is kicking, one is punching, and then this one comes in and is like mainly spinning. Kicking, but it like, has like a specific form to it that it just made sense. I did appreciate it. I didn't feel like it shadowed the others in any way.
Yeah, no, I love it. The handstand Pokemon. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And also they're 100% male, which is interesting.
Oh, that isn't. I think that's actually true for all of the Hitmons.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Yeah, I do love her. I mean, I do love him, but I will say it was annoying that my Tyrogue evolved into a Hitmonchan, who I do love, but I wanted Hitmontop.
Yeah, it is tricky getting the stats to be exactly where you want them to be.
Yeah.
But okay.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Hitmonlee. The kicking Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't like Hitmonlee's eyes. I find them to be very unnerving. I feel like it's something with a bag over its head, and it's...
I mean, yeah, the design is very interesting just in the sense that it, like, its head is and its body are one thing.
Yeah.
And it just has eyes, doesn't have a mouth, doesn't have a nose.
Yeah.
It speaks,
legs.
But yeah. And then it just has arms and legs.
Hitmonlee is how I feel like it always talks.
I forget. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
But yeah, I think Hitmonlee is a lot of fun. I've always like growing up, I was so into soccer, so I was so into kicking by that relation. Like for example, there's a character in Tekken called Hwarang, is how I've always pronounced it, but I guarantee that's wrong. He's like a Korean Taekwondo expert, and his character used to do lots of kicks, and I was obsessed with him. And Hitmonlee was always the same way, where it was like, because I play soccer, because I like kick.
Yeah.
I like things that kick.
I kick, they kick, we kick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was no more complicated than that, and therefore I've always been really into Hitmonlee. Has a bunch of signature kicking moves that were very specific to Hitmonlee, like high jump kick, rolling kick, mega kick. Okay.
So sorry.
That's what Hitmonlee sounds like in Japanese.
No, that's Professor Oak. Hold on.
What makes you think that in Japanese they're going to say Hitmonlee?
Oh,
and
that's
not the Japanese name.
That's so true. I don't know why I thought that. I'm so sorry. I really want you to hear it. Oh. Is that...
Oh, please bear with us as Raven interrupts our broadcast to...
Wow, Hitmonlee.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, Hitmonlee! Yeah, terrible. As we all know, also, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, kind of named and very loosely designed after Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee.
Yes.
I say very loosely because it's just the names. It's not like Jackie Chan is known for being a boxer. He's known for drunken boxing, but not boxing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Bruce Lee used more than his legs, so... But regardless, I loved that incorporation. So, that's
I love it.
My number 3. What is your number 2?
Very good. My number 2 is Marshadow. Yeah, this is it's known as the Gloom Dweller Pokemon.
Jesus Christ. You find Pokemon that I'm like, that doesn't even exist.
I know. I looked them up.
And then I looked them up also, and it goes, this was first released in a magazine.
Yeah. It's the last Pokemon in the Alola Pokedex in Sun and Moon.
Gosh.
It's fighting and ghost.
Fun.
It's so cute looking. It's like this little gray blob that it looks like, in my opinion, it looks like it's on its knees and the rest of its legs are like floating out behind it. Oh
yeah, I can see that. I thought it was more like a shadow.
It is kind of like a shadow, I think, but it's like a black, amorphous blob, and it's got like these glowing red eyes. According to this, it looks like it's made out of smoky gray shadows. When angered or attacking, Marshadow's fighting spirit will begin to burn, causing it to become Zenith Marshadow.
I do see that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very few people have seen it, so its existence is the stuff of legends and myths. It's cautious. It sinks into the shadows to ensure it's not noticed. Similar to Gengar.
If I may,
yes.
It also is the only Pokemon capable of using the Z move, Soul Stealing 7-star Strike.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
How crazy does that sound?
Pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it also is the only Pokemon.
Me, like, Kill Bill vibes.
I know.
5-finger death punch kind of stuff. Where it's just like, I touch you 5 times, you take 5 steps, and your heart explodes in your chest.
Yeah. It's also the only Pokemon known... it's only the only Pokemon capable of learning the move Spectral Thief. Mm-hmm. It's just cool.
It is very cool.
I love a shadow fighting Pokemon.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I know. I wish we could. I mean, it probably wouldn't be that hard to like go on Amazon and like find Sun and Moon and like these other games.
Yeah. But I don't know what systems they're for.
That's the thing. We have to figure out the systems.
Yeah.
'Cause I have a DS. I just need a fucking charger.
Yeah.
Hey, listeners, if anyone has a charger for a Nintendo DS, hit me up. let me know. We have our email address, hessyandmaven@gmail.com. You can also find us on most of the socials, Hessy and Maven, one word. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Great.
So that's my number 2. I love her.
My number 2, Hitmonchan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I actually put Hitmonchan above Hitmonlee, which is really surprising.
Yeah. I know what happened to the kicking.
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm thinking maybe that was a fluke. Maybe that was a mistake, but, well, I'm just going to run with it.
Yeah.
So the reason I pick Hitmonchan above Hitmonlee is because I always was a little salty about the fact that you could have your Hitmonchan have Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and then like a fighting move.
Yeah.
Whereas, so you could be hurting so many different kinds of Pokemon depending on their types and stuff. But then Hitmonlee is like strictly fighting. Like it doesn't even learn unless in the more recent ones because of Blaziken, who can learn Blaze Kick. Yeah. My Hitmonlee knows Blaze Kick.
Oh, okay.
I have a Hitmonchan and a Hitmonlee in my Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
And they're very high level, and I've gotten to the point where I've almost made them perfect in terms of stats. Mm-hmm. And they're called Hands and Legs. So I love that because it's like, all right, go get him, Hands. Yeah. And then he comes out and he's got his fucking boxing mitts. And so even though what I just said was that I always preferred the kicking one, I did make a reference that was when I was a little bit younger. Yeah. I do, because I am the type of person, I don't really like watching fighting, like UFC stuff. Okay. Yeah. It's not that I like really, really dislike it or anything like that. It's just like it's not my bag. Yeah. I also hate Dana White, like the CEO who beat his wife. Oh, like, he's a fucking piece of shit, Trump donor, and he can die. Right. But boxing, to me, in terms of fighting, is like the more... I don't know. It has a little class to it for some reason. I can't explain why that makes sense to me in my brain, but it does. This idea of just you're only using your hands. There's very specific rules. The flashy robes and everything. I just like Hitmonchan. Yeah. Therefore, Hitmonchan is on my list. I just think he's fucking cool. Yeah. I think the design is fun. The fact that it has straight up red boxing gloves as hands is kind of crazy, but like I already made my piece on the idea that it is crazy that they can have clothing as skin or something, and we're just gonna not really figure it out, and that's fine. Here it does say it is able to throw punches that are too quick to be seen with the naked eye. Its punches are said to be as fast as a bullet train. Wow. By punching with a corkscrew motion, it is even capable of drilling through concrete. Even a light graze from its punches will result in a burn. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I do really like Hitmonchan. My Hitmonchan in my sword game, I do like that it knows like Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch.
It's cool.
Because it's helpful, like almost no matter who I'm fighting.
Yeah, it's super helpful. It's like a bummer that those moves don't have higher attack, like whatever the number is, like the, you know what I mean, power level. Like I want them to be higher, but I think they're at like a 75, which is like, you're like, man, give me an 85 at least.
I know.
But I get it. Yeah, I just think he's fucking dope. Yeah. He's so cool. It also says here that he has to take breaks every 3 minutes. So he's kind of got that like cheetah vibes. Of, like, I can do amazing things for a short amount of time, then I need a little tiny break. Yeah. And I'm back in it, baby. And I just love him. I think he's so cool. Yeah. Okay, very good. Yeah, I told you weeks ago, my fighting list isn't like super out there. Yeah. It's very like... Hitmonlee. Yeah. Hitmonchan. Yeah. I almost put Hitmontop on my list, but I was like, let's do a little bit
something different.
Lateral thinking.
I hear you.
I knew I was gonna pick Surfetched, and then coming up with number 5 was the hardest. It was like really like, okay, who else I want to put in this list? Yeah. And then I saw Infernape because Infernape is mainly fire. Yeah. With a little bit of fighting. Yeah. So I saw Infernape and I was like, he is a total fucking badass.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So, even though I won't be able to put him on my fire list, I will deal with this. Yeah. I will deal with this.
Very good.
So, okay. What is your number 1 fighting type?
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Infernape.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. I stole both of your number 1s.
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so funny. I'm sorry.
Infernape has a special place in my heart because Diamond was the first Pokemon game that I have ever played. Like, all of the other Pokemon games before Pearl and Diamond, I only watched you play. Like, I never actually played Pokemon games. Like, I never was into them like you were.
Yeah.
And when we had DSs, like, all I did was play, like, Nintendogs and, like, Mario Kart, and that's it. Like, I never played Pokemon on them. I know. So, when I wanted to play Pokemon, the first one I ever played was Diamond. It was the first, that's, like, I think the earliest generation of games or whatever that came out for the Switch.
Yeah.
And Chimchar was my starter that I chose. So Infernape, like, was my first. It's like my child, like my first Pokemon I ever chose, and I like leveled it up really high, and it like I never put it in my box, like it was always with me, and he is so badass. And when we leave, after we leave here, I'm gonna poop because I really have to poop. So I need your number one to be Snappy, and then I'm gonna watch all the scenes with Ash's Infernape because I want to see.
I know that you also are a fan of Gengar and
I love Gengar
and stuff like that. We haven't gotten to Ghost yet, right?
No.
Okay, that'll be interesting. But anyway,
so
Infernape and a lot of Ash's other fire Pokemon actually help.
Oh my god.
Help Gengar learn. I think it's the move Will-O-Wisp.
So cute. I think I know what you're talking about.
So cute. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What's your number one?
Number one, Infernape. Very good. My number one is Primeape.
You do love Primeape.
I fucking love Primeape.
You do love Primeape.
I always thought he was super cool. I will never forgive Ash for getting rid of it. Like moments after he gets it
and gets it trained.
And then it may come back later in the show, and I just don't know about it. But yeah, I was very fucking upset about that because I loved it so much. Won a goddamn tournament, beat the shit out of Team Rocket's Hitmonlee that they stole. But okay. I think that it looks really fucking cool. It also kind of has punching gloves. It's a giant ball of fur with a pig nose. It looks so fun and cool. It is funny. And it's angry all the time, and I don't resent that. I relate to that. I relate to that. And then in the newest game, they decided to give it a new evolution form, Annihilate, where it's ghost and fighting.
Which is crazy.
And I did not choose that because as much as I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, it looks scary now and weird, and I'm like, I don't want my guy to look scary and weird. I want him to be cute and
awesome.
Fluffball with boxing gloves.
Like Primeape. Yeah.
And when we went to Comic-Con, we went to that little Pokemon exhibit where you could buy a little Pokeball that had glass on the top, and it had a little terrarium inside and a Pokemon. Terrarium. And I got Primeape. As soon as I saw it, I knew that this was the one I needed. So, my number one, Primeape.
Very good.
I love him so much. He's so fun.
We took on Fairy and Fighting.
And we won. But let us know what you guys think about our lists. Let us know your own lists. You know, I did hear from one of our listeners, buddy Ariel. Mm-hmm. She definitely wanted to see WALL-E on the Disney lists. A little disappointed, but sorry, gang. Yeah, it's a great movie. I fucking love WALL-E, but yeah, it takes a lot out of me, and it's also a movie that I kind of have to pay attention to because there's no audio, there's no like verbal stuff except for the humans and the big and large, by and large thing or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, we're gonna wrap up this episode, gang. Please tune in next time. I already went over the social media stuff and the email. Hessy and Maven, check that stuff out. Stay in date. Talk to us, comment on things so that we can talk about it and figure out which direction to go in. Thanks for tuning in. Please tune in next time where we talk about something else.
Bye. Bye. Bye.